morning. Good morning, baby. Good morning to you as well. Y'all see my buddy still here. If you missed Brooke's video, she put Pink in the shop because we got a couple of stray cats that have been lingering around barn area down there, or the old barn, I should say, where Pink lives and has always lived. That's where she chose. We didn't choose that for her. That was her decision. And Brooke was just a little worried about her. Didn't want anything to happen to her, so brought her over here in the shop, which is perfectly fine with me. She's been in here for a couple of days. She seems extremely content. So, yeah, this may actually work out, don't want it, baby? Yeah, it may actually work out. We'll see. We will see. All right, I got to get these horses fed, okay? You can help me. I don't mind you helping me. But I do got to get them fed this morning. Yeah. Pink is, she's on up there. She is actually the oldest cat here for sure. Tucker will be second. But I think Pink is 10 years old, 11 years old. We got her before YouTube. So I can always tell things. Look out, girl. Look out. Let me get this in there. All right, Pink, we gotta let that soak. Another interesting thing about Pink is that, well, two more things. When you love on her, start petting on her, she starts doing this drooling. And from our research, and also the vet told us this as well, that's just her way of showing affection. There's nothing wrong with her medically. It's just what she does. And she doesn't have a meow. It's like a little squeak. You barely hear it. You may have heard it just a minute ago on camera. It's very soft. It's very subtle. It's not loud at all. Even her purr's not that loud. It's just a little soft squeak. Just a pew. You can barely hear it. Her name is Pink because we did get her from the animal shelter. Her brother was a male cat. His name was Blue. Blue had gotten adopted right before Brooke and Mary Carl went to the shelter. Now, we do have soft spots in our heart for black cats because they are the ones that are least adopted. Black cats are the last cats typically to be adopted from the shelter. So that's why we always try to give black cats a great home. If you notice, majority of the farm cats here on the farm are black cats, and that's the reason why. Of course, y'all know Lieutenant Dan, who's doing very well. And of course, Mary Carl's new cat, Edgar. Then we got Pink, we got Tucker, Bramble, Sylvester, who is a tuxedo cat. The only cat here that's not a black cat that's ours is Biscuit, who came from Catherine at G&G Farm, which was a litter of kittens that she had over there that were unexpected from a stray cat over on her farm. All right, buddy, gotta get this to the horses. Then we got some big projects to do today. Big projects. Good morning, Resca. Good morning, girl. There you go. Let's see how fast y'all can run this morning. Huh? I bet Loretta, she sees me. She can't hear me. But if she saw me, she'd take off running. Told you. I told you, Gus. Gus said he don't run. He don't run. Hey, boss lady, there's something that has just been weighing on my mind, and I'm gonna see if today is the day that we turn the corner and get all this taken care of. All of it. I'll explain later. You enjoy your breakfast. Hey, I may or may not have to go into the petty cash store, but it won't be much. It won't be much. You know me, I'm a frugal spender. Just slip the key out, you know, where I can find it, okay? All right, y'all, let's go finish what we started. And that actually is that's a broad statement because it's several. Oh, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, girl, get your baby, let's go. Holly, get your baby and let's go. We got things we got to do today, girl. Come on, load up. Come on, load up, let's go. We gotta let Nugget out too. Don't drop your ball. Look, I'm gonna set it right there so you don't forget it, okay? All right. Yeah, this is like multiple projects all into one, but it's one big project when it's all said and done. You'll see what I'm talking about. Right, girl? Yeah. Y'all, it is starting to warm up. We got some crazy, well, I know about the crazy weather the other day. So it dropped down, you know, super cold. Yesterday it was high of almost 60. Today it's gonna be around 55-ish. And then tomorrow it's not gonna get in the 30s. So I'm about to take this jacket off and this hat, I can tell you that. All right, now this is better. I'm starting to get a little warm there. But of course, y'all know we started on the greenhouse, trying to get the heat in it, and I'll explain that as well, what's going on with that. But I just want to get this area, the backyard garden, the Alabama potager garden, or the kitchen garden, I just want to get it finished like I want it. And that's going to take some time. I know we got started on it, but today we're going to start in the greenhouse. My goal is to get the greenhouse clean and organized and around it. And whatever I do after that will just be gravy. Let me go back here, let me explain everything, what's going on, what our plans are, how we're going to do it. And I know all that's going to change. A lot of it could change today. There's a lot of stuff I don't know what to do, and I may have to ask for help. You know, honestly, when we built this house, one thing that we wanted more than anything was a garden right next to the house. As a matter of fact, our first initial thoughts were to build our house up here and put the garden in the front, way up there, kind of where the coops are right there, or where the horses are. But then we wanted to be further back away from the road. We wanted to be a little more private, a little more privacy. And that's why we ended up building here. But one of our main goals of to where to put the house and everything was that we wanted a garden next to the house. And it's just taken us a little longer than we thought. You know, what doesn't, right? Especially when life happens, what doesn't? You're gonna see I got these little set out over here. Right here, you guys see these little cups? Brooke bought a bunch of bulbs on clearance several months ago, and I've just been kind of keeping them going. These are spring bulbs, hyacinth, daffodils. Oh gosh, I can't think of what else, but that's what this is over here. And Caden's gonna come by either this afternoon or some afternoons during the week and help me plant all these. It's a bunch of them. I mean, it is a bunch of them. I just thought it would be beautiful with these springtime bulbs popping up when nothing else is really going on. And I just love spring bulbs. Love. One of my most favorite flowers in the world are daffodils. So this is gonna be gorgeous. Look right here, I got a whole row of daffodils I'm gonna put in over here, just on total clearance. I forget, like 25 cents for one of these cups. They were just, you know, I tried to get them all. So that's what's going on here. And you know, this garden's beautiful, and I want that garden behind the house to look like this. Here comes my saving grace right here.
I had to get an emu back so I could get in.
Oh, yeah, I see Nuggo. Y'all look right there. Nug, we're over here, buddy. Come on. Nuggo. What's he looking at?
I'm trying to figure out how you can get through that gate.
There he goes.
Nugget. He definitely enjoys walking around.
That's what I was about to say. He is thoroughly enjoying himself.
Here he comes. He's occupying his mind.
Luckily, the bees aren't active.
Well, I think he can run faster than any bee can buzz.
You're probably right. Yeah, he's definitely enjoying himself for sure. So I want to get the greenhouse cleaned up and getting ready. I started on it last year. I got Caden to straighten up a little bit, but just think it hadn't been right in a long time. And look on the outside too. I've kind of got some things straightened out over here, but I want your opinion on some stuff too as well.
Alrighty, so should I come in?
Yeah. Oh, I got some stuff out here I can start throwing in there that we can, you know, take to the dump that needs the garbage.
Okay.
And
here he comes.
There's Nuggatron. What's up, Big Daddy?
He said, I think I can come back there and help y'all.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. That wouldn't be a good idea, Brooke.
You think the birds will be scared of him?
Well, I see them still on the feeders.
Do you?
Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Should I get the bucket over the fence?
No, I think it's fine. I don't think I have anything heavy.
Okay.
If I do, then we'll regroup. All right. Yeah, I might need you over here. Then we'll make us a pile. How about that? I
That's
thought you was
fine.
fixing to jump that fence.
Well, I can. You need me to prove it?
Yeah, I think just get all the pots and just set them outside for now. So our plans with these pots are, I don't need this many. I do take cuttings and stuff, but I don't need 400 of these pots. So we're gonna take them back over to Petals from the Past where they'll sanitize them and reuse them because, man, I forget how much these things cost, but I know they're not as cheap as you think. And it keeps them out of the landfill. So it's pretty much clean now. You know, we could do, one thing we want to grow in here is herbs year round. And I don't want to do raised beds because we have to build this up and then bring a bunch of soil in here. So I was thinking pots, but then I remember we got our green stalk planters. So we could actually use those and plant herbs in the green stalk planters.
That's right. I think that's a good idea.
That's two right there.
There's,
Yeah, I was fixing to say there's the other ones. So we got 3 green stalk planters right here, and we got strawberries in that one that we could, you know, do something with as well. And that would take care of the herb situation here. And anything else we wanted to plant in here, we could just do it in a big pot
That's right.
instead of raised
And use
beds.
this for starting seeds. And
Yeah, our seed starting station, that was hard to say. Seed
you come
starting
up with the
station.
craziest things that are hard to say, supposedly.
Seed starting station can go over there.
Much better organized.
Yes, way better. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't do much.
Clean out the front here.
Well, I've got you some goat manure
I know it.
that's composted
Yes.
that we can use to fill up, and I want to get that moved
We do need
anyway.
to get it moved. And what we can do is we can start putting it in those raised beds.
The raised beds that you're not going to move, we can put it in there. Put these on top.
All right, so I'm in back here just thinking of different things, and Brooke is about to head over to the lumber yard to get what we need, but we're going to make a planting bed in front of this fence area right here. Also, and I'm going to put an arbor over this gate. Then we're going to make a planting bed on this fence row over here, and I'm going to put an arbor over that gate. And then I'm going to make that very, 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 very low maintenance. We're going to mulch, 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 mulch. We got our weed cloth and probably do some newspaper and cardboard and that kind of thing. And then grow things that can smother out weeds and that can handle on its own. That's my plan right here, and that's my plan over there. Now over there, you know, those plants will be dog safe, so don't worry about that. But I just want some separation. When you walk back here, it's just this huge open space. There's no rooms. There's no different, there's just no intrigue. There's no sense of curiosity. It's just, you walk back here and it's just this huge open space of gravel. And I don't want that. I want to break it all up. I don't want it all this. And that was my plan to start with. And everything just hasn't worked out like I thought. But, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't just have to be vegetables back here. It can be tons of flowers and herbs and stuff for the pollinators and the birds. You know, that's just what I want and have always wanted back here. Now, I will say this. We were behind the 8-ball, if you've been following us, from the get-go. Because number one, our soil is absolutely terrible, especially in this area. And add the fact that we had to build a house here, so this is the house pad. So bulldozers and rollers and all that came through here and it created a house pad. So all that's been scraped away. Now, I can't really add a bunch of soil back because what will happen is that my ground away from the house will be higher than the house, and we definitely don't need water shedding back towards the house. We want the water to shed away from the house. So I've been behind the 8-ball from the get-go. Terrible soil. Then on top of that, what little bit of soil I had got stripped away. And so now I got this tarred, tough, gravelly mess, which I have figured out how to grow things in. Number one is just plant stuff that can grow in it. I mean, that's right off the bat. Number two is to amend the best you can. And that's what we've been doing over there in the parterre garden. Now back here, I did raised beds. And that way I don't have to worry about what's below here because everything's going to be grown above grade, not down in the terrible soil I have here. And that's why we're going to do planting beds on the side. Now I don't think I'm going to do a planting bed right down through here because this is such a long space. I just feel like this would be a lot of work. It would take a lot of soil. It would take a lot of plants. So here's my plan with that. Y'all remember those roses that I got off the sides of the road? I still have a lot of those roses. We have planted some, I have gifted some, but I'm thinking about planting those roses on this fence. I'll keep it trimmed and that way it will separate this area from that area right over there. I call that my bird room. That's what that's going to be called right there. Now I do want to plant a small, slow growing tree in this area over here. I'm thinking maybe a crab apple, but I'll get with Jason over there at Petals from the past and see what he suggests in this area, like on the other side here, y'all, like right in here, just a very small, slow growing tree that doesn't get big at all, because I don't want anything to fall on any power lines or my greenhouse, or, you know, if bad weather were to come. So what I'm thinking is once I plant something on that fence row right there, then that'll separate this area from that area. Then when we turn the curve here, we'll have this planting bed area here and the arbor here, so that will also separate this from over there, which leaves me with all this area here. And I think I'm just gonna leave this as it is for now. Brooke and myself have been discussing, and we've talked about this before in the past, what should I put down in this area here now? Original plan, that's why I put the weed mat down, was to put gravel in this area. But then we started thinking, it's just so much gravel. It's just so much gravel. We put the weed mat down and the gravel down thinking it would help with weeds, and it does to some degree, but it gets really, really weedy back here in the summertime. And that's also on account of me, because I just didn't like coming back here, y'all. I did not like coming back here. I come back here and this area seems like an eyesore to me. You know, when you start working on something and you don't get finished with it, and you just kind of, you don't want to look at it anymore. And that's when we start thinking about putting soil back here and grass. Pull all this weed mat up, bring in some dirt, kind of get it level, and buy some sod and put sod back here and make this green grass. And I think it would absolutely look amazing. I really do. Here's the kicker about that though. Brooke and myself talked about it in good length today. Number one, how much is that going to cost us? It's going to cost us a pretty good bit, because that's going to take a ton of topsoil back here, and I mean a lot. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 4 dump truck loads, give or take, maybe more than that. Then having to spread all that soil out, get it nice and even and laid out perfectly. And then how many pallets of sod is that going to take? Getting everybody back here, you know, trying to get sod back here. We do got that double gate, but it's still limited to space back here. Where will we dump the topsoil? How would it get, you know, it's a lot of logistics there, and I just don't think it's going to be feasible. But let's say it is. Let's say we did do that. How am I going to cut this grass back here? Now, I could get the mower back here, the riding lawnmower, the zero turn, to some degree. But what about up against the fences and right there around the greenhouse? How would you cut all that? That's where it comes into where I think the grass situation is not the best plan. And keeping it alive. 2 years in a row, we've had terrible, terrible droughts here. I've had to water a ton to keep the grass alive, especially in the front yard area over there. And this will just be added right back to it. I guess I could put in a sprinkler system, I guess, but then you're talking a lot more expenses when, you know, honestly, the weed mats here, I could already do what I already had planned to do, and that was to put gravel on here. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to go back to the gravel. Now, some things that I'm going to do different that I think will help break all of it up is that I'm going to start putting maybe some flagstone paths in. That way it would break up the gravel. It won't look like all gravel. And along with the planting beds and planting the roses on the fences, you can see we got the planters over here by the greenhouse now, which I love. Not for sure what I'm going to plant in here, but I'll get with Jason. We'll come up with something here. I even thought about putting an arbor over this, honestly, but that may be a little too much. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Which leads me to this one dilemma that I have, and that I'm starting to get some ideas in my head on how to correct it. And that is to separate, because I want this to be the raised bed area over here. I don't know what we want to call this area right here, but the garden room or the vegetable room. We're going to grow more than vegetables over here. Or the raised bed room. How about that? How to separate this from this. I mean, I really don't want to bring, I guess I could bring some type of structure through here. I even thought about getting black chain link fence, but you can see through it. So I wouldn't do anything. But somehow or another to separate this area here from this area over here, because this is another animal over there. That's something that we'll have to figure out what we want to do with over there. What's going on with the heater? Well, this is what's going on with the heater behind me. We think we have found us a tank for the greenhouse. 250 gallons, which should be more than enough for what we need to heat this greenhouse with this small heater right here. The issue is right now is I don't have anybody to hook it up. And I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. So we already got a propane tank. Our gas company who services this tank, which they actually own that tank. We actually rent it from them. It's not very much money. They told us that they're extremely backed up and that they had no idea when they could get over here to hook up another tank if we got one. Pretty much several months out for the most part. So, I mean, I'm leaning towards go ahead and getting the tank, getting it set up. I just don't know when it's gonna get hooked up. I'm thinking about putting it over here. Y'all come on over here with me. Matter of fact, come over here. So it's got to be 10 foot from the open flame or the heat source in the greenhouse. So I got plenty of options there. Option one is right here. This is where I'm really thinking about putting that tank, is right here. I will be 10 foot away from the open flame, and I'm not that far from my tank that I got here, right there, you can see. So if I put that one right here, they'll drive through our double gate. They service this one. They can either drive right over here or just bring the hose over here and service this one right here for us as well. And it's not going to be very far to trench. It's everything's right there. So I think ideally that will be my spot right there. One way or another, I'm going to get heat in this greenhouse. I can promise you. I don't know when it's going to be because I do have to depend on people outside of the farm to get this going for me. And when you're dependent on other people, you know, it is what it is. I know some of y'all may be wondering why all the cardboard. I like to use cardboard as a weed barrier, and I like to use it as compost. I know some people don't agree with that, and to each of its own, but I've never had an issue with cardboard. Never. And I know some garden mentors that use it as well. So that's why I got the cardboard, because I will do a lasagna method. We'll put cardboard down, topsoil, compost, cardboard down, topsoil, compost. And that just helps with weeds and it builds my soil up. So that's why you see the cardboard. We got to come back with some more soil in here because everything I put in here last year composted and settled. You can see how much it dropped. I mean, look at that. So definitely got to fill these back in. You know what? I don't think this area back here, including the greenhouse, has been this organized since the greenhouse was put in by Grower Solutions. I just don't. Matter of fact, it may be more organized now than it was then, especially around on the outside of it. My goodness, this is, makes me feel good. What else makes me feel good is your company. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. Thoroughly enjoy you. Hope you enjoyed today's video. This is going to be an ongoing project right here for a good little minute, I believe. And I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this backyard garden finished this year. Well, you know, it always will be evolving, but for the most part, I'm going to get it finished this year. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. We love y'all. Catch you on the next one. Y'all be good.